Yeah. We really boxing. Who wanted the battle? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's a pro versus the rookie class. All my life I had to fight, but I still love it. Me and BVO got moves that you can't steal from us. And these haters be throwing shots, but I don't feel nothing. I ain't gonna lie, they alright, but we a little rougher. Step up for the title and face your rival, this ain't no little tussle. Bet I be no bird, being chicken to get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, they can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets, shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef? I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO.
Yeah. We really boxing. Who wanted the battle? Let's see.
Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking. Defeat ain't an option. Let them know. Shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know. Every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know. I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than a show. This is BVO. This how it's finna go. I'ma throw some jabs. Make them think my punch is weaker than I hook his ass. This the ring, not the kitchen, but I'ma cook his ass. Me and him, that's a pro versus the rookie class. All my life I
Yo, what's up? It's your boy BBO Boxing. What's up to my brother Crown Jewel? What's up, man?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. Dropping my my son and my nephew off with my other nephew so I can give me a little bit of a break.
Hey, you like me, man. Always on that road, man.
Yeah. I'm just leaving the gym, actually.
Yeah, man. Hey, what you think about this new Canelo deal, man? You excited about it?
I don't know that I'm excited. I don't know that anything about Canelo excites me at this point. I think he's a little bit past his prime. I think it's good business for PBC. And I think you saw my video where I said Al Heyman has checkmated Oscar De La Hoya once again. If Oscar had any hopes of getting Canelo back, Al Heyman just squashed him. You know what I mean? With another $100 million deal.
Hey, you know what's funny, man? I think people don't realize Oscar go down as probably one of the biggest idiots as a promoter of all time, man. Because I just never seen nothing like where a guy constantly blows it, man. Salute to my man Green Light.
The thing about it is, that has a lot, especially when you have fighters that. You there?
I'm here. I can hear you. I'm here.
Oh, I said the thing that happens when you fight usually there's a guy behind the was the king. And once Richard Schaefer left Golden Boy and Al Heyman took all his fighters away from him, he was pretty much done.
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is I just never in a million years thought you would see a guy just totally blow away like a boxing dynasty like he did with Golden Boy, because everything about Golden Boy you know, it screamed that it was going to be the next Al Heyman. I thought he had another top rank on his hands, and you see what he did. He slowly just blew it apart, and it's just crazy, man.
Yeah, at one time he had knocked off Don King and Bob Arum for the top boxing company in the world. But again, it was smoke and mirrors because he wasn't running the company. Richard Schaefer was. And when Richard Schaefer left, you saw, you know, the proof was in the pudding. Golden Boy fell off a cliff. They still had all the Al Heyman fighters at that time. When Al Heyman created PBC, that was another huge hit. And then, you know, after that, Canelo left. So they had basically nothing. You know what I mean? They're back to where they started. They started off by signing pretty much all of the Mexican fighters, and that's pretty much all they have now.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy. You know, you got Jaime Munguia, who to me is just, you know, he's propped up on a lot of like bad fights. I mean, beating Derevyanchenko after Derevyanchenko lost a bunch. I don't know, man. My man Greenlight said,
I want to see him. Go ahead, my bad.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to see Munguia in with somebody with a pulse at this point, and we haven't saw that. So, I mean, it's only so many times I'm gonna watch you knock out smaller guys and has-beens before it's like, okay, we get it. You can beat the guys you're supposed to beat, but when are you going to test this guy? You know, I mean, he's been around a while. He beat Saddam Ali like what, 6-7 years ago?
7 years ago, yeah. It's been a long time.
So when is he going to step up?
You know what? I think the funny thing,
Golden Boy, go ahead.
No, I said I think the funny. Go ahead.
I was gonna give you an experience with Golden Boy. I think you know I worked with Anthony Young when he fought Alexis Rocha on the Golden Boy show last month, and it showed me how far they fell because I also was with Levander Johnson a couple times. Rest in peace, former IBF lightweight champion from my area. When he was working with Golden Boy, and the promotion, the level of promotion and the services they provided for Levander when he fought for the title back in 2003 was totally different than what we experienced with Anthony Young this past month out of Fantasy Springs. Like, I mean,
so you from Atlantic City?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm riding around Atlantic City right now.
Hey, you live by the Monopoly board, man.
Yeah, well, I'm one town over, but yeah.
Oh, you one town over?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's the word Tiro Gotti's from.
No, he's not from here, but he basically set up shop here. He fought here. He was from Canada. He moved to Jersey City, but all his big fights were here at Boardwalk Hall.
Yeah. I mean,
Book's gonna be fighting here now.
I think it's funny, man. And speaking about Boots, man, I just think it's funny, man, to see how like these promoters, man, you can tell like none of it was Al Heyman's fault. I gotta say, you can tell it wasn't Al Heyman that didn't want to make the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence fight. You can tell that. It's just funny because I wonder why. I wonder, and it's just me. Does Al Heyman get a bad rap just because he's the only brother, or what is it? Why does he get such a bad rap?
That to me, the proof's in the pudding. And Floyd has actually came out and said that. When Don King was the man, they painted Don King as the worst thing that ever happened to boxing. Al Heyman became the man out of the same city as Don King. They both from Cleveland. Then all of a sudden, he's the worst thing that ever happened to boxing. I'm telling you, I hate to say this, but there's some non-black promoters in boxing that make Al Heyman and Don King look like choir boys. But I hate to say it, but it just when a brother gets in charge, making moves and making money, all of a sudden he has to be a crook. You know what I mean? Yeah. And all you ever heard from fighters that fight for Al Heyman is they make the most money they've ever made. They get treated right. Like, so I don't understand where that narrative even comes from.
I don't know either, man. Shout out to my man Green, like what he said. I was in prison and Boardman Town with two twins was crazy mofos, half black, half white. You might know them crazy dudes. He just
in Bordentown, well, yeah, that's a Jersey prison for sure. I'm trying to think of their last names. One of them passed away. If it's the twins I'm talking about,
I think my bad just lost reception. But I'll tell you this, man. I'm super excited. I'm super excited about what we getting in boxing, man. We getting a lot of good fights. What's going on, brother?
Now, I don't know what happened, but I was getting ready to say he must be talking about the Hurt twins. One of them's name was Jeremiah. I forget the other one's name. He passed away, unfortunately. He was killed. Rest in peace to him. But if he's talking about the Hurt twins, their father was actually a boxing trainer that worked with Matthew Saad Muhammad and used to pick me and my sister up and take us to church when we was little. So if he's talking about the Hurt, I think those are the only, black and white mixed twins from Atlantic City. It's the Hurt brothers, I'm pretty sure.
He said, welcome down for two bodies now, right? Welcome down. I'm not sure why he's saying that, but I tell you this though. I think the crazy thing is, I was going to ask you this, man. Does this deal with Canelo make Canelo, if he win all these fights, will it make him one of the best of all time?
No. No. It's nothing Canelo can do at this point to make him the best.
I said one of them. You don't think so?
No. It's been, first of all, he's been human on too many nights already. I think Lara beat him. Floyd beat him easy. I think Triple G beat him once, maybe twice. I think he's been, and you can't say you're one of the greatest when somebody says stuff like, I ain't fighting no other Mexicans, or he didn't say this, but he stayed away from all the athletic black guys. He wasn't fighting no black fight. He basically spent the last 6-7 years fighting nothing but Eastern Europeans. Because again, like I said before, Canelo's the kind of guy that if he has quicker feet than you, he can beat you. If he doesn't, he can't. And so he doesn't take any athletic guys with quick feet. They don't put him in there with any of them.
Yeah. I mean, but you know what? I wonder, because matchmaking is so important in boxing, as you know. You think about when Tio fought, was it Salvador or Sandor Martin? I can't think of the guy's name. I always mess his name up. But he looked like trash.
I think he looked like trash because he took him lightly. Tio got a big head early. He beat Lomachenko, and I think he thought, all right, it's going to be easy for me from here on out. I'm that guy. And I think he realized in the Sandor Martin fight, which Sandor Martin is a solid fighter. Yeah. But I think he realized in that fight that, okay, once you become the guy, it's even harder because now everybody is gunning for you. And nobody's going to have an off night against you. You're the biggest night of their life. Everybody's bringing their best to you. You know what I'm saying? And whether it's Sandor Martin or anybody else, they're going to bring out the performance of their life because that was an opportunity of a lifetime for him. So I think he needed to learn in that fight. He has to come on top of his game like he's fighting Godzilla every night.
Yeah. See, I think salute to my man Just Do showing love to the chat. I'll say this, man. I don't understand how Canelo don't get credit for beating a very, very sturdy Austin Trout. And see, boxing. You know how good Austin Trout was. He kind of just got almost like a Paul Williams, got kind of lost in the sauce with all the other fighters. But for him to beat Austin Trout like he did, I don't really take that lightly, man. What about you?
I think he got credit for it. Don't get me wrong. Canelo is an extremely talented fighter. But when you're talking about one of the greatest ever, you're talking about another level. Like, I hear guys like Shannon Sharp, I heard say, when you talk about the Hall of Fame, right? Mm-hmm. There's the Hall of Fame, and then there's another room that's even higher that only certain Hall of Famers get into. And that's what you're talking about when you're talking about the greatest of all times. There's a lot of people in the Hall of Fame, and Canelo, of course, is a Hall of Famer. But is he in the room with Ray Robinson and Floyd and Ray Leonard and Willie Pep? No, he's not. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter. But there's just some guys that reach
and that's the hard thing, man. That's the hard thing, man. When you talk about a Ray Leonard, you can always kick back that Ray wasn't very active. He was not a very active fighter. Well, he took go ahead. Well, he took a lot of long layoffs.
Floyd showed I don't know. Somebody just called me. My bad. But it's a business. And what Floyd showed is this. All he did. What they criticized Floyd for is the same thing Ray Leonard did. If I'm making, damn it.
Hold on, my man Crown having a little couple issues. He said, on the money, T.O. got his got head big because he injured little man. Come on, that little man is walking straight into the Hall of Fame. So
my bad. My phone keep ringing, bro. My bad.
Oh, it's all good.
Now, what Ray Leonard did is the same thing Floyd did, and people don't quite understand. The same thing with Prince Nassim Ahmed. It's a business at the end of the day. So when guys are making buku money, why would they put their body through fighting every couple months? It's, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you only get one body, and you're going to have it the rest of your life. So if I'm making multi-millions every time I step in the ring and everybody else is making thousands, I'm not going to fight as often as them. It's taking them 6-7 fights to make what I make in one night. So guys like Floyd, he only fights twice a year. Yeah, but he made 10 figures. Why would he fight anymore? You know what I mean? Would you work 5 days a week if you got paid all you needed to work one?
I think when you say that, the biggest pushback on something like that is look at Ali. Ali didn't have to box. Ali was one of the...
He did. Ali brought the money to boxing. But until he fought Joe Frazier and George Foreman, and he was working with Don King, that's when the millions came. He wasn't making millions prior to that. So, again, these guys benefited from a guy like Ali. He put the millions in it so they could do that. But you think back to guys like Ray Robinson and Ali, they had Ali didn't have as many fights as Ray Robinson, but he didn't have to. But then, these guys don't have as many fights as Ali. Why? Because they don't have to. Like Ali, you got to remember, he had several people in his pocket. He went broke more than once. A lot of times he was having those fights was out of necessity. If you listen to him early in his career when he's still undefeated, he was talking about retiring. Yeah. But financial problems kept him around to be in fights so many times. Like, I forget who it was, but they said it's hard to get up. It might have been Marvin Hagler. It's hard to get up and run when you're sleeping in silk pajamas. Like if you have everything you need, you've hit the financial jackpot, you've ascended to the top of the sport. I mean, again, just like people forget that boxing is a profession, it's work. I don't know too many millionaires that work every day. You know what I mean? Like you work to the level of your need, right? Right. If your lifestyle or your income is that where you got to work 2 jobs, then you do that. If your income is that you can work a little bit, then you can go chill on a country club for 3 months, then you come back and work again, then you do that. Right. And that's all it is. Everybody wants it to be a tough man competition or rock and sock and robots, but it's not. It's a business. And if you look at every other major pro sport, they don't play year round. No, they have four or five down months where they do nothing. So why can't boxing have that if they're making that kind of money?
I mean, I get what you're saying, but 4 fights is not too much to ask. 4 fights a year on a 12-year
because you're talking about just the nights you're in the ring. But each one of those fights represents about 3 months of work. So if you have 4 fights, that means you're pretty much in the gym all year round. When does your body heal and recover? Now, if you're fighting 4 6-round fights, that's easy. But you're fighting 12-round fights and having 4 8-week camps, sparring, 10 to 12 rounds a day, 3 days a week. That's a lot on your body. Yeah. So, I think people don't understand what goes into being a fighter.
Salute to my man Green. Like said, we used to box in prison, even in Yardville.
That's another Jersey prison, Yardville.
I think my man Green is out that way. But I'll say this, man.
He got to be from Jersey. He said born in town of Yardville, and he talked about the twins. I'm guaranteed he talking about Jeremiah Hurd and his brother.
Well, what I basically said is when you talking about Canelo, man, think about it. Him and Earl the same age, and Earl Spence don't have a 4th of the legacy that he has. Not even a 4th. He been in 1 weight class. But hear me out. I know how you get. Hear me out. That's the thing. A lot of times, people don't give Canelo credit for daring to be great. Canelo said, you know what? I'm going to go up and fight. But I'm going to go up and fight Bivol. Nobody knows Bivol. But guess what? I'm going to go up and fight the toughest guy. He went right to him, fought him. He lost. That's what happens when you dare to be great. I think what Roy Jones said is very true. I think what Roy Jones said is very true. Sometimes these fighters make it look easy when it's really not. But I think for what Canelo's done to be 5'7", to go up and down the weight classes like this, I mean, I doubt we ever see it again. Salute to my man Currency. He said 4 fights a year. That's a lot, dog. Hold on, what my man?
Some of them move up in weights was to avoid the tough fight in his weight.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we
Number
go.
one, hold on, let me finish. Some of that was ducking. Number one.
Oh my God.
Hold on. Parker was giving him a built-in excuse so he can say, well, he lost to Bivol, but Bivol was the bigger guy. He was daring to be great. That's a bunch of hogwash. And to say, like, you got to have multi-weight championships in order to have a legacy, okay, tell that to Marvelous Marvin Hagler, who only campaigned at middleweight. But he had 20 title defenses. This weight jumping stuff started with Ray Leonard, all right? And Tommy Hearns. Tommy Hearns and Ray Leonard started that. Tommy Hearns was the first 5-weight world champion, right? That's impressive. But what is also equally impressive is staying at the same weight your entire career, killing yourself to make that weight, and knocking off every challenger for 2-3 Olympic classes. And that's what Marvelous Marvin Hagler did. So you can't just compare legacy based on weight classes, because sometimes guys jump around in weight classes to get away from a dog that's in their weight class.
But see, I like how you started sneak that in about Canelo not wanting to fight the dogs. Okay, at the end of the day, guess what? Canelo fought everybody you can want to fight. He fought Danny Jacobs. He's going to fight Jamal Charlo, two-time two-division champion Jamal Charlo. He's going to fight him next. So when he beats Jamal Charlo, then if he goes and beats David Benavidez, and then he beats Errol Spence, then what? It's like the same thing with Floyd.
Charlo asked for him 3-4 years ago. He turned Charlo down. Now all of a sudden Charlo has a 2-year ring hiatus and goes through a divorce. He's like, oh, I'll fight him now. You know what I mean? Earl asked
why are you doing that, man? You moving the goalpost. The best must fight the best.
I'm not. I'm just speaking on what's happening. I'm speaking on what's factually happening. And see, you can't say, like, why didn't he fight Demetrius Andrade? Why didn't he fight him?
He's a boring fighter, man. Who did he beat?
Okay,
see, that's the thing.
Canelo ain't never fought. He had a title. Canelo ain't never fight a boring fighter.
But Canelo's never been boring.
No. But you said he didn't fight him because he's boring. Is Lara boring? Is Trout boring? But he fought them.
I would see. This is the thing. You talking about boxer?
But I only want to fight the boring. I only want to fight the boring guys that are bigger and more athletic than me.
You might have a small point. I think the thing about Demetrius Andrade that's made him scary for years is the fact that he put his right foot in front of his left foot, man. I really believe that's what's made him just very scary to guys. And he's very athletic. I mean, he got to be about a full 6'1", really a real true middleweight champion. And it's just funny because nobody really wants to give Canelo credit for saying, hey, I've been ducking Charlo for 5-6 years since 154. I'm gonna go fight him next. Why isn't there like an overwhelming joy? Like, this guy is going to show everybody he's the best.
I think it's a good fight, but I'm gonna tell you this: I got Charlo picked to beat him. I think you're gonna be very disappointed.
I know you're not a gambling man, so I'll leave that alone because I know you don't want to put your money where your mouth is, man. Not on that fight.
Listen, it's gonna look a lot like the Mayweather fight, except Charlo's bigger but more punching power. I think he's gonna make Canelo very bad.
You see how bad he looked against what's the guy Morel? Well, I don't know the Mexican dude that he fought. He didn't look the best versus that guy. I mean, see, that's it. You
can pick a bad night out of everybody. Canelo looked like an amateur against Floyd. And I say he's too young. This time, 23 years old is the prime of your life.
Yeah, I don't think he was too young. That's a lot of lies people tell. Let me read this comment. My man
Mike Tyson peaked and fell off before 23. So
what my man Sub-Zero say, Ali fought the best of his era. Actual boxers picks their opponents. Now the best of the heavyweights fight once a year. I think the thing is with Ali, you really can't compare Ali to really anybody, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because Ali was, and it's funny. People hate when I make this connection, but him and Oscar were like the best of both worlds. Nothing crazy. Pause. They look great, and they were actually like hardcore boxing junkies. These guys were really willing to die in the ring, and I think because with Oscar, you see him with the lipstick and lace, people forget about what kind of dog was in Oscar. I tell you what, if Floyd was like Oscar, Floyd would be the greatest of all time. Because Oscar would just do dumb stuff like fight B-Hop when he don't have to. Beating B-Hop to death, right? The whole fight, he beating B-Hop to death. Get caught with a liver shot, and that's all she wrote. Or think about those Sugar Shane Mosley's fights Oscar had. I mean, I just feel like Oscar is one of those guys, man. I think Oscar and Ali is who we want to see boxers be, and unfortunately, we're not getting that. And you've been in the business a long time. You seen the best. You seen Pernell Whitaker. You seen all them guys. Them guys weren't like Ali and Oscar were. It was whoever the best was. I'm coming to get them. I'm coming to prove who I am.
Well, Pernell beat Oscar, in my opinion.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Did you see the last 2 rounds of that fight? Did you see the last 2 rounds of that fight? I'm asking you.
I watched it, and let me finish.
Go ahead.
I'm a little put off that you putting Oscar and Ali in the same category. Now, marketing-wise, they're both, like I think we were just trying to say, and like you said, nope, it's a pause moment. They're both handsome guys. They're both marketable. They both speak well. You can put them in front of a camera, all that. So that made them very marketable. Both gold medalists in the Olympics. So they had the recipe for success. But that's where the comparison stopped. In my opinion, Oscar De La Hoya quit against Bernard Hopkins. You've never seen Muhammad Ali quit. Muhammad Ali fought Ken Norton 15 rounds with a broken jaw. Muhammad Ali, there just was no quitting him. Muhammad Ali went to Japan and fought a shoot fighter to a draw with a broken leg. Like, Muhammad Ali just had a dog in him that was not evident to me in any other fighter I've seen since. So I can't compare Oscar De La Hoya as a fighter to Muhammad Ali. His marketability and his star power rivaled that of Muhammad Ali. But then again, you couldn't have any of these stars in boxing that you have now without Muhammad Ali. He put the star power in boxing.
But see, you can say that about Sugar Ray Robinson, his idol. You could say the same thing. The whole reason there's a pound for pound list is because people thought that Sugar Ray Robinson was better than Joe Louis. So that's why you have a pound for pound list. So this is the thing I'm saying. When I bring up Oscar, I mean the fact that Oscar just was a dog and didn't miss no fights. No matter what, Floyd been out of the game, since about 2015. People still talking about how he didn't fight Winky Wright. People still talking about how he didn't fight Triple G. I mean, it's just like,
well, those people are uneducated that said that. Because if you're asking why he didn't fight Winky, I can give you a very clear answer why he didn't fight Winky Wright. Floyd is a lightweight. Winky Wright is a middleweight. It doesn't make sense. Same thing with Triple G. Floyd is a lightweight naturally. Triple G is a middleweight. Why would those fights happen? That's like asking why, I don't know, Pernell Whitaker didn't fight Marvin Hagler. Two different animals. They only hold Floyd to that standard. Why would Floyd, who turned pro at 126 pounds, fight a 160-pound fighter? It makes no sense. Winky Wright, why did he fight Winky Wright? Easy answer. He's too big. Why did he fight Triple G? Simple answer. He's too big. Back to what you said. The same reason Ray Robinson never fought Joe Louis and they needed to make a pound-for-pound list. The problem is this. Floyd beat guys all the way up to junior middleweight, which was actually too big for him. If you notice, when he won the junior middleweight title, he didn't even defend it. As soon as he won it, he vacated it because that was too big of a weight class for him. And he went to his absolute limit when it came to size, right? And then stopped. And people said, well, you could have went one more. Like, they only do that with Floyd. Nobody said to Tommy Hearns when he won a light heavyweight title, well, shit, you didn't go fight cruiserweight and heavyweight. Like, how much is enough? You know what I mean? Floyd, there's no way Floyd should have fought Winky Wright or Triple G. They're too big.
But what I'm saying is this: Oscar would have fought him, and that's the thing.
Lost.
And he did. Like, he lost to Manny Pacquiao. But
exactly. So you giving this guy credit for having the balls to move up and fight fights that he can't win and lose. You only get credit if you move up and win those fights. You move up and lost, they were supposed to beat you. Like, you don't get credit for that. You didn't accomplish it.
See, you say that, but I'm gonna move on to the subject. But they still give Sugar Ray Leonard credit for beating Duran the second fight after Duran was 190 pounds and had to make weight in 1 month. So that's
totally different.
That's not different. It's the same thing.
He's not fighting a naturally bigger man.
Sugar Ray Leonard's not bigger than Duran naturally.
He is, but it's not that big of a difference. They're 2 weight classes different. Duran turned pro was a lightweight. Ray Leonard was a welterweight. That's not a junior lightweight and a middleweight. That's totally different. Floyd is a little guy. He just happened to have beat about 20 bigger guys. So it makes people think he should have beat even bigger guys. And after a while, it just gets ridiculous. Like, how far away do you want the guy to go up?
Hey, well, let me ask you this, man. What did you think about that Julian J. Rock Williams performance, man?
I like J. Rock, and it hurts me to say this because I'm only about 45 minutes from him. I've got to watch just about his entire career. I know people that are very closely, connected to him, and I want what's best for him. But I will say, the round before that fight was stopped, I said out loud to those watching the fights, I actually posted on my Facebook, J. Rock doesn't have anything left. His legs were gone. He was getting hit at will. And was he fighting back? Was he punching back? Yes, but he had nothing on his shots at that time to bother his opponent. His opponent was walking through his shots, and he was getting tattooed. We all want to say, bad stoppage, this, that, and the third. But again, I have a very close friend of mine, a stablemate, that died defending his title. So I don't want to see that again. I think it was a good stoppage. I think J-Rock had nothing left, and I think he needs to start thinking about retiring because all this punishment. Say that I love. I'm not saying that. Earl,
you cutting out, man. I couldn't hear nothing you said. You keep cutting out.
No, my bad. But I mean, all his losses, bad losses. I love him to death. I'm not saying this to discredit him. He is a monster. He's a beast. He's a warrior. But all his losses were bad losses, and the human body can only take so much. And he looked to really take me towards the end of that last fight, and I like to see him, start thinking about moving on because there's only so much the human body can take.
And see, that's what I'll say to that. When you talk about J. Rock Williams, I gotta give his trainer some love, man. Breadman has really shown me he's a terrific coach. I honestly, I tell you, if you would have had a fighter with anything left, they would have won that fight because that game. And I know as a trainer, man, that's got to piss you off, man. When you come up with a perfect game plan and the fighter can't go out there and execute it because J Rock, they were clearly outmatched technically wise. I mean, the way Breadman called that fight, I mean, Jesus Christ, you talk about putting the strings on him. It was just like that was almost a wasted performance by the trainer. And Breadman, I don't get no credit for this, but I gotta say, Breadman's got to be one of the best young trainers in boxing. That's the type of guy Teofimo Lopez to get with, somebody like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think Breadman would characterize that by being pissed that he couldn't pull it off because, I mean, that happens every fight. Every fight that you watch, there's a winner and a loser. And best believe the losing trainer had a game plan that he wanted to implement. And it's not they're not machines, right? So just because I have a great plan don't mean my fighter can carry it out because he's human. So there's a lot of variables there. If a guy gets hit, gets hurt, the other guy imposes his will on him. His strengths, the other guy he has a game plan too. So I don't think Breadman will feel like it was a waste of a game plan. He just, the other guy was able to impart what he wanted to do a little better than J Rock was able to. But I mean, like I said, they're not machines. So case in point, I just worked with Anthony Young in the Alexis Rocha fight. We had a game plan. He was not able to pull it off. You know what I mean? The things we wanted to do, he was not able to do early in that fight. And by the time he started trying to do them, he had already absorbed too much punishment and he could only do it in short spurts. So, I mean, that's boxing. Am I mad at him because he was not able to carry out the game plan we had for him? Absolutely not. I can only be mad at you if I feel like you don't try. But if you go out and give 110% like J Rock did and leave it all in the ring, I think Breadman could be nothing but proud of him.
But it's the thing. This is the thing I'm saying. You talk about being in a perfect position throughout the whole fight. I mean, that wasn't J Rock. You could tell that was coaching. So it's just like it's almost like this. When people always think about the Sean Porter Bud Crawford fight, I think Kenny Porter threw the towel because it's like What did we work on? What did we talk about? And I'm just telling you, if you would have had a live dog in there with that kind of game plan, I just say maybe you won't say that because you're a trainer, so you in there with him. But man, I would be looking like Derrick James be looking after those fights like, what did we even work on? You didn't even do nothing because you got to think about it. J Rock was in perfect position to win that fight. I mean, whether it was defense, when he took the jab away. I mean, it's just like, what else you got to do? And then he just turned into a punching bag. And it was just like you said, it was the end of it. Let me read a couple of these comments real quick. He said, I put 50. I put Charlo. I got 50 on Canelo green light. So I'll just leave it at that. He said, I picked Charlo sleep because he 2 years you want. He going to come in as a beast. Canelo ain't had a good fight. His last fight with nobody. Okay, you call John Ryder nobody. Okay. My man Yemi said Winky was around and Floyd could have fought Sergio Martinez, called Floyd out. I can see. I don't know why he didn't fight Sergio Martinez, but I see what you're saying.
Sergio Martinez was a middleweight again.
But they look very similar in height. That's what they're talking about. The height.
Height ain't everything. Dwight Muhammad Kyle was a 5'11" heavyweight and cruiserweight. You know what I mean? Height. There's a build too in the mix to a man. To ask why Floyd didn't fight middleweight is preposterous. Never middleweight.
Yeah. He said Floyd ain't no 130 guy, couldn't even make 144 against Marquez. Stop the cap. Other legends took big risks. Hey, you know what? See, that's the thing. I feel like this.
Hold on real quick. Let me respond to that because he looked at me. First of all, before you come on and say stop the cap, you should check your facts. And that's very easy to do. There's something called box record where you can go check all fighters' records. Floyd turned pro at 126 pounds. He fought in the Olympics at 125 pounds. He won his first world title at 130 pounds. His peak weight, where he beat all the fighters, was 130.15. He's a career lightweight. He moved up to welterweight to make money. A lightweight moving up to welterweight is a big jump. Moving to middleweight is ridiculous. That's why nobody outside of Roberto Duran has done. It's something to see. Lightweights don't fight at middleweight. So whoever you are, you should probably fact check before you call me Cap, because you have no clue what you're talking about.
My man said Floyd won a title at 54 by then. Floyd said he's TBE, then go take the big risk. Who's this casual? Drop the link. I'll school this chump. I'll say this, man. When you talking about Floyd, man, this is the thing. When you talking about Floyd Mayweather, man, he fought guys 30 pounds bigger than him his whole career. And then later in his career, he did it with one hand. So we go on and on about that. But you know what? I'm gonna drop the link. But I gotta say this before we finish up. The fact is, we got Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. We all know about that fight almost being done. We all excited about that fight. I'm talking about this Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz fight. We all want to see that fight, but I tell you this: really, at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder is going to crush him. Andy Ruiz, there's nothing about Andy Ruiz that has shown you that he has any chance to beat a guy like Deontay Wilder. The thing about Deontay Wilder is simple. Deontay Wilder is not very skilled. I look at him like a Rocky Marciano. When I say Rocky Marciano, I mean the way he delivers that right hand. The way he can deliver that right hand, if people watch Rocky Marciano when he fought Jersey Joe, it wasn't orthodox, but it was effective. And I think that's something that people don't give Deontay Wilder enough credit for. The fact that he mastered what he did have. And on top of that, Deontay Wilder won a bronze medal in the Olympics probably as the most inexperienced guy. So you got to really, you got to give Deontay Wilder a lot of credit. At the end of the day, he has no shot against a big giant like your boy Tyson Fury. So it's just that simple, man. Tyson Fury. What's up, man?
Can I backtrack for 1 second and finish what I was saying to the lane?
Oh, go ahead.
What you said to me.
Go ahead.
You said I was Cap. Before you can say I'm Cap, you should fact check what you're saying, because everything I say can be backed up by fact. There's something called box rec where you can go out and check guys' weights and records. And if you see that, you'll see that Floyd turned pro at 126 pounds. He fought in the Olympics at 125 pounds. He won his first world title at 130 pounds. and made most of his bones at 135 pounds. Okay, he's a natural lightweight. If he's a most natural lightweights, never ascend to middleweight. If they move up, the highest they go normally is welterweight, 147 pounds. The only fighter to successfully go from lightweight to middleweight and win a world title is Roberto Duran. If it was something that should be done or normally was done, you'd see other people doing it. But nobody but Duran has done it for a reason. Because a lightweight is just a totally different size guy than a middleweight.
James Tony
Let me finish saying what I'm saying. Don't cut me off. Don't cut me off. Let me finish.
That's for examples, and I'm giving them to you. But you don't be lying, though. That's all I'm saying.
I don't have a reason to lie. I can back anything else up I say by fact. Like I said, and I know where to go and get the facts. I've worked just about every position you can work in the boxing industry. I don't have to come on and tap for YouTubers. Floyd was a junior lightweight, first a featherweight, then a junior lightweight, then a lightweight. He wasn't a middleweight. He didn't fight Sergio Martinez or any of those other middleweights because they're middleweights. And lightweights don't fight middleweights.
Before you say that,
the same reason. Hold on. The same reason why Roy Jones's father put the kibosh when they tried to put him in there with James Buster Douglas. His father said, no, absolutely not. He's just too big. You don't put a Volkswagen in against a pickup truck. You just don't do it.
But Roy jumped from middleweight.
If you understand boxing, you know that there are weight classes for a reason.
I got you, bro. I got you, man. I got you.
This what I'll say. This will say before you go, Jimmy. Let me say this before you go. You got to remember, Floyd. Crown's giving him a lot of credit. Floyd's always said he's a featherweight. Floyd has said that since he's
a little guy. I came up in the amateurs.
He said he's a featherweight. So I don't know, but go ahead, Jimmy. What you think, man? I want to hear what you got to say on this.
Bro, to be honest, I mean, the history of the sport is full of people that, eventually when you grow up, when you age, you put on muscle, you mature as a man, you move up in the weight. A lot of fighters have done it, and they pushed it far beyond Floyd Mayweather. As far as him being a featherweight, Floyd Mayweather couldn't make a 145-pound catch weight against one Manuel Marquez. So for me to sit here and pretend
fresh out of jail.
I mean, bro, hold on, bro. First of all, no, he wasn't. That was the Cotto fight, not the Marquez fight. But let me finish, bro. It's so good.
Marquez was his first fight out of jail. You got your facts wrong. You need to fact check yourself. His first fight out of jail was Marquez. People got mad at him because they said Marquez.
Hold on, you were crying when I cut you off. Now you're doing the same thing to me. Come on.
But like I said, Roy Jones, but you're lying. Your facts are false.
Jones. No. You don't know what you're talking about. Floyd Mayweather went to jail in 2013, right? And he fought Marquez when? Now, come on, bro. What are we doing here? I've got the receipt.
What I need you to do, BBO, because you had the capability, go to BoxRec, screenshot Floyd's record, so you can see when he fought Marquez. I'm 100% positive his first fight out of jail was Juan Manuel Marquez. People were criticizing.
He did because that was Jimmy, because that's when he beat up Josie real bad and he went to jail. And when he came out of jail, that's when you got that famous interview with Brian Kenny.
You're talking to a boxing encyclopedia, Jimmy. You're in over your head.
No. When he beat up his wife in front of his kids, wasn't that during the Miguel Cotto fight, right? So they Vegas judge.
No, that was Marquez. That was Marquez.
No. Seriously, go and box that right now. No, it really
Marquez was the fight after jail. He was able to put off going to jail to have a couple fights because they felt like it was financially advantageous to
No. It's not true, though. It's not true. I've done the research, bro. That's not true at all.
You're wrong.
It was a Cotto fight.
It's not.
Okay, anyway, let BVO do the research, right? Let's put that on pause. James Toney, Roy Jones, Manny Pacquiao. These are all for Roberto Duran. These are all fighters that have gone through higher weight classes and fought top champions. I mean, you can say Roy Jones, this and that. James Toney, bro, doesn't matter. They still push
Roy Jones doesn't have more weight classes than Floyd. Floyd has
5 pounds.
Titles and more weight classes than Roy Jones. Huh?
I'm talking about weight coverage. 160 all the way to 220.
Roy Jones is about 5'11", 6 foot. Floyd Mayweather's 5'7". Totally different.
Well, I mean,
Roy Jones was a middleweight.
If you're TBE, bro, I'm holding you to that standard. Don't come out here and scream, I'm better than Muhammad Ali. I'm better than every past champion.
He has an opinion on himself. Why can't he have a high opinion of himself?
Okay, do what they're saying, though. Well, do what they did, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. I don't know why you're getting so
How
heated.
many? You said do what they did. How many
then.
weight classes did Muhammad
If
Ali fight in?
if you're better than champions in the past, bro, if you're better than Ray Leonard, you're better than
weight
Duran,
classes did Muhammad
you're
Ali
better than
fight in?
James Toney, you're better than
How
Roy
many-
Jones. It is what it is.
How many weight classes did James Toney win titles in?
James Toney's won his first world title at 160, and then he won a version of the heavyweight title, right? Is that
Okay, but how
equivalent to
many
Floyd
did he win
Mayweather
in the
winning
middle?
at 135?
How many did he win in the middle? Did he win light heavyweight? No. Did he win super middleweight? No. So
Yeah, he
you
did. He
you
won
keep
super
pulling these
middleweight title.
facts. You said
Yeah, he
do
did.
what Ali
He
did.
did.
Ali fought in one weight class his whole career. And I'm telling
And
you, I
Ali
said
fought everyone,
earlier,
though.
if you were listening,
Then
you can
Floyd.
fight in one
Then
weight
Floyd.
class and be great. Marvin Hagler fought in one weight class his entire career.
All right, bro. I don't listen. At
It's
the end of the day,
you
the
new
facts
age
are this, right?
boxing people
Roy
that
Jones,
think guys got to
Roy
jump around
Jones,
weight classes
and
to
James
prove their
Toney.
greatness, and you have no clue what you're talking about. None.
Listen,
What I said-
at the end of the day, bro. At the end of the day, Floyd Mayweather could have fought a lot of great fighters. Sergio Martinez was willing to come down to 155.
He fought 26
Sergio
world
Martinez
champions.
was coming down. Sergio Martinez was willing to come down and meet him at a catchweight, and he said, "No, let me fight a fucking bum and Robert Guerrero."
Robert Guerrero would beat the shit out of you when you calling him a bum. He would beat the shit out of you.
Robert Guerrero. And I slapped the shit out of you. And I slapped the shit out of you. I drag you across your beard across the fucking road.
You couldn't do anything to me.
I'll slap the shit out of you. I use my pimp.
Hey, we can set that up. And we can do it live on YouTube. And I'll put you to sleep.
Hold on, Jimmy. This is BBO boxing, man. We don't do all that crazy talk.
I'm saying, since he said that.
Well, no, listen.
I know how to let these things fly for real. I'm on BoxRec too.
Don't catch this ass whooping, old man. Old man, don't catch this ass whooping.
I fought professionally too.
But just to clear the air,
I've been a fighter, a trainer, manager, promoter. I don't just go on YouTube and talk.
I believe you carried the spit bucket.
I was in the gym with my fighters about a half hour ago.
I believe you carried the spit bucket. I believe you've carried the spit bucket.
Don't get it twisted.
I believe you.
You're nobody. You're just a guy that.
I believe you carried the spit bucket.
It's your pleasure to talk to me on here.
I believe you.
You're welcome.
I believe you carried the spit bucket. I believe you.
Hold on. Hey, Jimmy, come on, man. Come on. Crown, hold on. Hold on. So just to make it clear, it was Marquez that he fought coming out of jail.
Thank you.
Then it was
and see, that's when they start saying they could do something to you personally. When you chop them up with facts, now he wants to fight. But what I am saying is, I'm with the dumb shit. I will fight you. I will fight you.
Floyd beat 16 straight. Jimmy.
How many times has he been to jail though? Because I might have missed the first time. How many times?
No, he went to jail. He went to jail really only once during his career for a Pacific and a time.
You're wrong. Just say, you know what? I was wrong. Just say that.
I'm looking. No, I'm looking at the article right now at the Las Vegas Journal.
The article has nothing to do with BoxRec.
No,
just
hold
say
on.
I was wrong, Jimmy.
Hold on.
It's
I'm reading the article right here.
Everybody's wrong sometimes.
The Nevada judge let Floyd push the court date back to let him fight Miguel Cotto. What are you talking about?
That was before he went to jail, idiot.
That's before he went to jail.
That's before he went to jail.
No, exactly, because they let him push it forward.
Just admit I'm wrong.
They let him push it forward.
Well, I say this. Hey, let me say this, because y'all both screaming like Hulk Hogan. But let me say this. Salute to my man Brandon. He said Wilder versus AJ in December. But I'll tell you this, man, and then we're gonna move on from this Floyd subject because Floyd get a lot of hate. And that's the thing, Jimmy. I'm gonna tell you what it is. You from the UK, so you don't understand that Floyd constantly gets taken down, and Floyd did about everything you can do. Could Floyd fight a 160-pound fighter? Maybe, but guess what? He probably get beat up like Kell Brook did. At the end of the day, they got weight classes for a reason, man. They're the great. I'll tell you like this: some low-level heavyweights will beat the dog out of Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence.
Oh, yeah.
Some low-class heavyweights. So that's what I'm saying. So
for me personally, Floyd's one of the greatest defensive fighters I've ever seen. The guy's a Hall of Famer. Definitely, he's a legendary champion, bro. Not at all, but I'm just talking about all-time great statistics. Like Floyd Mayweather is a guy that he had a good career, but there are other guys that took bigger risks than Floyd, and the whole notion of
he beat 26 world champions. Nobody beat more world champions than Floyd Mayweather.
But that is true. But think about this, Crown. I think what he's saying in essence is true. Was he crazy like Pacquiao? No, he was. No, is he like a Pacquiao? No, where Pacquiao was a shoe can man, and think about Pacquiao signed to fight Terrence Crawford. Pacquiao signed to fight Errol Spence. Errol Spence got hurt. That wasn't his fault. What I think what Jimmy said is he wanted Floyd to be crazy, and Floyd never was crazy.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up Pacquiao. When Floyd forced Pacquiao and take the Olympic style drug, never scored. Never.
I can't hear you, man. You keep going in and out. Say it one more time.
Yeah, bro. I think he was on something about Olympic drug testing, but my thing is this though, bro. When Pacquiao agreed to that, Floyd Mayweather started complaining about I don't want to work with Bob Arum, and as soon as Marquez knocked Pacquiao out, 2 years later, Floyd was happy to work with Bob Arum. So we could all play the angle, right, of why the fight didn't happen. And
I'll say this, man. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'll say this. The thing with Floyd is this. Floyd did a lot of lying, and I'm gonna tell you something about Floyd that people don't think of. Bob Arum saved Floyd's life. Floyd owed Jay Prince $1 million, and Bob Arum paid that. So I mean, Bob Arum get a bad rap. Don King get a bad rap. These guys were not as bad as people paint them out to be. I mean, if somebody pay $1 million debt for me, we're gonna be friends for life. So I get what you're saying on that. The thing, a lot of that stuff with Floyd was posturing. That wasn't really how Floyd felt. That was just him trying to sell himself. And I think sometimes people misunderstand that Floyd, and it's the thing because it's different in America, man. Like you guys celebrate y'all's champions no matter whether win, lose, or draw. You guys celebrate your champion. Look at Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora can still sell out the O2. Derek Chisora can still go to Wembley and sell out. You guys really support your fighters a lot better than we do here in the States. And I think Floyd, unfortunately, is just a victim of that, where he never really got the support. He's never been embraced like Anthony Joshua was. I mean, but we off that, on to something crazier. I want to ask you guys, what you guys think about this Wilder versus AJ fight? I mean, this Wilder versus AJ fight coming. Either Wilder versus AJ or Wilder versus Ruiz. Which one do you guys want to see more?
I want to see Wilder AJ more because I think Joshua versus Wilder is a fight that, even though it's not it's not what it was several years ago when both guys were younger and champions and it looked a lot better, I still think it's one of the biggest fights in the world because you've got two guys out here that are still big, dangerous punchers, knockout artists, and the top 5 heavyweights. So I think it would be nice to see the fight. I'd love Andy Ruiz versus Deontay Wilder. I think those are the two top American heavyweights in the sport right now. North American heavyweights, right? So that's a really good fight, man. I think hopefully we get Wilder Ruiz, and then we get Joshua White too, and then AJ and Wilder can meet in the Middle East at the end of the year.
I'm gonna tell you guys something that I don't know if you agree with me on this, Crown. I'm gonna have you answer this after I say this. I'm gonna tell you this: Anthony Joshua is going to go down as a better fighter than Deontay Wilder, and the reason I say that is that AJ, if you look at his resume, man, he took a lot of tough fights, man. And it's crazy because he don't get enough credit because he lost some fights. But Anthony Joshua was everything you want a heavyweight to be. He's not the best. I'm not gonna say he's the best. But AJ really went out there, man, and took all the fights he could. And he fought. I mean, Usyk, at the end of the day, Usyk is a very, very dangerous fighter. There's a reason why Tyson Fury is not fighting him, because Tyson Fury has never been a complete fighter. He's always beat one-dimensional guys, whether it's Klitschko, who's jab, right hand, or it's Deontay, right hand or nothing. If you get in there with a guy like Usyk, man, with all that boxing skill, it might be like a Evander fight. He might mess around and get beat to death. So what do you say to that, Crown? What you think about AJ, man?
My thing about AJ, and I did a video on this. I think AJ and Joshua is a huge event, but a terrible fight. And why I say it's a terrible fight, Deontay Wilder has concussive knockout power, and Anthony Joshua has a very fragile chin. So I think the fight goes. I like Joshua, I really do, but I think the fight goes 2 rounds. That I think the first time Deontay Wilder lands a solid right hand, the fight is going to be over. Joshua's been starched by much lesser punchers. Wilder has ridiculous power. I think AJ is more skilled than Wilder. But the thing is, he has defensive shortcomings, and eventually Wilder's going to hit him with a right hand off the jab, and the fight is going to be over. I mean, from where I'm at, we know that a Philadelphia cruiserweight, Joey DeWeco, knocked Joshua out in sparring, which caused him to lose to Ruiz. Unfortunately, he just doesn't take a good enough punch to get in there with a one-punch knockout guy like Deontay Wilder. So, like I said, the Brits are really behind him. He's a big draw, a lot of money. It's going to be a huge event, and I think Deontay Wilder's on the downside of his career too. But I just think he has an asset that plays right into Joshua's biggest detriment, which is that he can't take a shot.
Well, that's what I'll say. I gotta snatch your chain real quick, Conju. And the reason I gotta snatch your chain is because I don't know if you've seen that. I gotta snatch your chain.
I saw it. You done made me red.
I'm gonna tell you before you go, Jimmy. I'm gonna tell you why I gotta snatch your chain off his neck. At the end of the day, we seen Deontay Wilder look punch drunk. He doesn't look the same. And at the end of the day, hold on. We gotta let my man in. My man Mookie. You're late. You're late. Let me get my man Mookie together. Hold on 1 second before we get going. Where is my man at? Mookie, Ja in the building, man. Whenever you see him, man, that's Mookie right there. He's always late to work. Go ahead.
Before you go too far, you said we've seen Deontay Wilder look shot. He doesn't look the same. I'll be the first to say it. But anybody that knows boxing knows the last thing a puncher loses is his power. And the one thing a puncher doesn't gain, if he doesn't have it, is a chin. And
what about his confidence?
I don't think his confidence is the same, but I think he knows he can punch, and he knows Joshua can't take a punch. So he's going to walk right to him and hit him.
Joshua's taken better punches than Deontay Wilder. I've never seen Joshua snore on the canvas face. I'm talking about face first. Like someone bring the dude a blanket and give him a lullaby. He's snoring.
Wilder was never locked out cold, so that's you're stretching the truth.
Oh, you didn't see that? You didn't see that third fight where he was out? He was out.
He got up.
He was out.
Bro, every time Fury connected,
he got up.
Listen, Joshua took massive punches.
Joshua's never fought Tyson Fury either and got beat on for 12 rounds. Joshua doesn't last long enough for that to happen. Because when he gets touched early, he goes down.
No, he's fought better punches, though. Hold on.
Who's better puncher than Wilder? There is no better puncher in boxing.
No, there's no better
puncher than Wilder. You're too excited, bro. You're too excited, bro. Calm down. Relax. It's okay, bro. It's all right.
I got to snatch a chain for that.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm saying AJ's fought bigger punches than Tyson Fury, and his chin is stood up. He fought Klitschko, he fought Povetkin, without too much of an issue. With Deontay Wilder, every time Fury landed on him, bro, his chin would, he did the chicken dance about 30 times in the second fight. And the third fight, he finished the fight snoring on the canvas. I don't know what kind of chin Deontay Wilder's got, bro.
He wasn't snoring on the canvas.
Brother.
He was not snoring on the canvas. He was on
he was hurt bad, bro.
He was hurt, but he wasn't snoring on the canvas.
Hey, John, hold on. Hey, hold on. Let me ask you this. Hey, John, let me ask you this, man. You seen those fights? Is it just me and Jimmy, or did Deontay look just beat to death when he fought Tyson? What do you think, man? You out there fighting, John? You tell me.
Okay, first thing first, but let me tell Jimmy this. My brother from the UK. Listen. One thing you got to learn about a chin is that your chin is your mindset. You could only go as far as you but tell yourself you could go, especially when you in the ring. So you talk about but Deontay Wilder got saying a worse chin than AJ, but AJ got a worse chin than Wilder. No, I'm saying Wilder, but he will stand there and be in a war. But he will stand there days wobbly and will continue to fight over and over and over again until he can't move no more. He got a chin. And now but you asked me saying about Deontay Wilder, but Deontay Wilder, he's getting older. You know what I mean? But he don't have that same athleticism. But like St. McCrown Drew Boxing said, the last thing to go is your power. And Wilder, he got that one hitter quitter. Once he landed, you in trouble. And once he fight Joshua is not taking that punch, and he ain't fight no big puncher like Wilder. But he fought Andy Ruiz, but he's more like a combination puncher. Wilder got that one hit.
This is what I'm gonna tell you, man. You
Wilder's gonna knock Ruiz out.
You in the booth on that one. I never see you hop in the booth like you just did on that one. You just hop in the booth on there for Wilder.
He was right. He was right.
But I'll say this. If you look, I just gotta say that if you look at how Wilder looked in that third fight, people give him so much credit. But man, he looked like he was dead on his feet.
He can't beat Tyson Fury. He can't. That's a style he can't beat. But he still put him down 3 times.
I mean, that egg got scrambled, but he was hopping up like Undertaker, man. And then
but Joshua ain't hopping up like that. You're gonna see a difference in them. You're gonna see the difference in them too when you see Wilder start Andy Ruiz. Joshua couldn't stop Andy Ruiz.
Oh yeah,
Joshua's been stopped. Joshua's been stopped once, and it was on his feet.
I said he couldn't stop Andy Ruiz, and Wilder's gonna knock him out.
Maybe. I mean, Andy Ruiz doesn't look good in about 4 years, so maybe, yeah.
When's the last time Joshua looked good?
Before you fought Andy Ruiz the first time.
Okay, that was about 4 or 5 years. Yeah. And I'm a Joshua fan. I like that he bigs up Africa. I like what he stands for. I like that he was developing as a fighter. But the reality is he doesn't have a chin. He doesn't.
Actually, I can't say that, bro, because, again, I keep alluding to the fact that the reason why Deontay Wilder didn't fight Klitschko, according to Shelly Finkel, because he was a baby or whatnot, is because everyone knows, right? You want to talk about rumors, right? Johnny Nelson...
what rumor did I talk about?
Not about the Joey DeWaco thing, right? Now I'm gonna give you a rumor.
That's not a rumor. I'm from this area. It's not a rumor.
Vladimir Klitschko had to send Deontay Wilder home from training camp because he kept knocking him out to the point where Emmanuel Stewart stepped in because he didn't want Wilder to, get brain damaged or whatever. Deontay Wilder has never had a good chin, bro. Watch him in the Olympics, bro. The dude was put to sleep.
Wilder had like 7 fights when he was Klitschko's sparring partner. He had like 7 fights.
This guy's been put to sleep. This guy's been put to sleep in the Klitschko camp. He's been snoring in the Olympics.
Jimmy,
read him a lullaby as well.
Vitaly Klitschko did. Vladimir Vitaly, is it Vitaly? Yeah, I think it's Vitaly. But no, is it Vladimir or was it Vitaly? I can't think. I always get them mixed up. Vladimir was knocking everybody out. What are you talking about?
And Deontay Wilder had less than 10 fights in that camp. He was supposed to beat up on him.
Yeah, he beat him to death easy. I mean, he was the undisputed champion.
He was a young fighter.
Yeah.
No,
who got a late start. He was a basketball player transitioning to boxing.
AJ had a late start as well, bro. I mean, what we doing, bro? Looking for excuses.
All I'm going to say is when they fight, we'll see. And I get it. I respect the fact that you UK guys, y'all are diehard fans for your guys. But I want you to come back on BVO. And just like you said you was wrong about Manuel Marquez, when Joshua gets starched, I want you to come on and say, Crown Jewel, I was wrong again.
Wait.
You're going to be.
And when I come back on, I want you to say, Deontay Wilder, he was snoring again. He snored 3 times. This will be snore number 4. I mean, he's been put to sleep against Klitschko. He was put to sleep in the Olympics, and he was put to sleep against Fury. And he will get put to sleep.
He wasn't sleeping in the Olympics. You have nothing to back up what you're saying about Klitschko.
He got knocked down. He got knocked down.
He got knocked down.
He didn't get knocked out, Jimmy.
The video's out there. He wasn't put to sleep.
He wasn't asleep, man. He got knocked down though. But I'm gonna say this, man, because that boy Jimmy putting 100 on the team. I'm gonna say this, man, and I think, and I appreciate your expertise, Crown. And you know the cool thing, Ja, about a guy like Crown, he don't look like much, man, but the brother has a beautiful boxing mind. I'm telling you, man, knows boxing on another level. The reason I always like people like you on here because my man Ja's a young fighter, man. A lot of young fighters watch my channel, man, and they need to know this sport that we all love so much because I mean it's almost like a dying art. A lot of people don't even know who Eddie Futch was, man. You realize
I got to spend 2 camps with him. Brilliant.
Hey, ain't about 3 of Ali's losses from Eddie Futch fighters? 3 of his 5 losses?
Well, 2 from Joe Frazier. In my opinion, 2 from Norton. That's 4 right there.
Yeah. So I'll say this. And you know what? I think people don't understand. Just like when we seen that J-Rock fight, man. I gotta say this, man. Bread, man, put on a brilliant performance, man. And it's sad that his fighter didn't have what it took to execute it, man.
I'm glad you went back there. Hold on, real quick.
Watch that fight. Go ahead.
You alluded to Eddie Futch. I wanted to say something when you talked about a great cornerman.
Yeah.
There's no better cornerman job than go back and watch Eddie Futch, who used to train Marlon Starling, jumped over and trained Maurice Blocker to take Marlon Starling's welterweight title from him. That was one of the most beautiful training camps I've ever seen. And nobody, I'm talking about nobody, believed that Maurice Blocker could beat Marlon Starling. But Eddie Futch got him through that fight.
I think Angie might be a little bit better of a guy. To me, I think Angie was a really great motivator.
Okay, well, answer me this.
Mhm.
Just one question: if you're going to compare Eddie Futch to Angelo Dundee, name one fighter that Angelo Dundee took from beginning to end. That was great.
Nobody.
Okay.
That's not. But still,
he got Ray Leonard after Pepe Carrera went to jail.
Yeah.
Ali was a made man before he got him. Name another great fighter Angelo Dundee had.
Man, he had two of the greatest, man. Salute to my man.
Yeah,
Bruce
but they
Gas
were great
boxing.
before he got him. And then look, when Pepe Correa came out of jail, Ray Leonard went back to him. Like, a lot of times we give these guys credit for work they didn't do. Eddie Futch took, like, Virgil Hill. Matter of fact, a lot of people for a long time considered Freddie Roach the top trainer in boxing. What tree did he grow off of? Eddie Futch. Who was his first world trainer? His first world champion? Virgil Hill, who fired Eddie Futch and hired Freddie because Eddie wasn't in camp enough with him. And to this day, Virgil, a good friend of mine, actually, we got kids by sisters. Virgil will tell you to this day, even though he left Eddie, he considered Eddie the best trainer to ever train a fighter. I mean, it's hard to go against Eddie Futch as a boxing trainer.
I'm just more or less saying, we got the famous "you're blowing a kid." I'm just talking about as far. I don't. You know what's funny? Can you answer this? Was it Bo Dini? Was it that dude Bo Dini that helped?
Boudini Brown.
Boudini, did he help train Ali?
He didn't help train Ali. He was just a motivator.
Yeah. I agree with that too, because with some trainers rise in certain aspects, you feel me? Some trainers help you mentally and some trainers help you physically.
No, motivation is definitely a part of it. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Because I hear you say that, but I just don't. I don't see it, because then why is Derek James so sought after? And all he really does is give people fundamentals.
Well, the way it goes in boxing is when a trainer has a fighter that beats somebody that nobody thinks he should beat, he becomes the hot guy for a while. It just happens. You know what I mean? Everybody's looking for a secret recipe. But, I mean, I don't think people give Eddie Futch enough credit for what he did for Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe got stopped in the Olympics, went on to become one of the greatest heavyweight champions ever.
Yep.
That's all
100%.
Eddie Futch. And I've been in camp with Eddie Futch and Riddick Bowe twice. I'm telling you, like, the dude he's a mastermind. Or was, God rest his soul.
Let me ask you, why did Big Daddy Bowe not want to fight Lennox, man? Why was that?
I don't think it was that he didn't want to fight him. I think he realized he was the bigger star and wanted the bigger piece of the pie. And Lennox wasn't going to play ball. Lennox was, wanted what he wanted. And actually, they were supposed to fight after Bowe threw the belt in the trash, and the fight didn't happen. I think Lennox went on to fight Razor Ruddock instead of fighting Riddick Bowe. A lot of people don't know that. They were signed to fight. And then they were going to fight again. Both signed to fight him, but then the Galata thing happened.
Yeah. And it's crazy because
I would have loved to see that fight. I would have loved to see him.
I think Bowe would have boxed his ears off. He was too quick, too athletic for him at that point.
And got too much dog in him.
Yeah.
You understand that because you're from Brooklyn, man. That's all.
Lennox beat guys that were smaller than him, that had to stand in front of him, or were mechanical and slow. Guys like, Holyfield was just too small. But guys that could box, you seen what Klitschko was doing to him before the cut stopped the fight. Guys that could box, Lennox had a problem with. And Bowe could box, and he had one punch eraser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with Rockman, because Rockman went in there and boxed his ears off. People forget about that. Even though he knocked him out, Rockman came in there boxing his head off.
Rockman jabbed the hell out of him.
Yeah. That's what he did. And I always hear people talk about, Lennox because, he was the first super heavyweight. But people don't understand. Ali would have beat him to death. Like, it wouldn't even.
Well, see, they think he's so big. They don't realize Lennox is 6'5". Ali was 6'4". He would have been staring him right in his face. People don't realize how big Ali was. Ali would have beat the shit out of Lennox Lewis.
Hey, you know what's funny? I'm gonna ask you this, man. Since we keep talking about classic boxing, man. Why do people make that George Foreman fight with Ali such a big deal? Man, Ali beat him easy. That wasn't no fight.
I don't know. Hey, listen.
Because it was the classic villain and hero. You got the
But I
big
mean, he beat him
bad
easy.
monster.
He beat him
Courageous
easy.
kid.
It was 10 years after his prime, number one. That made it different.
Oh.
Number two.
At 32?
Yeah.
He went in his prime at 32?
He won the title the first time at 22.
Oh, okay. They're right.
All right,
They
but
started
hold on.
younger back then. Go ahead.
Let me finish. It's easy to say it's easy on this side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me or you didn't stand on the ropes and get hit by George Foreman for 7 rounds.
No.
Ain't nothing easy about that. You talking about a guy that 10 years later came out and was knocking young boys out. Came back was knocking, like, he had to take some hellacious shots from Foreman for 7 rounds. Like, ain't nothing easy about that, I can tell you.
And that's why I say it'd be a change in mindset, because Muhammad Ali is the perfect example. But his mindset just carried him through every single one of his fights. Plus,
he'd rather
skill.
die than lose.
Absolutely.
And see, that's scary, man. You can't be. It's hard to be the guy like that.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, man. We getting ready for some big fights, man. But I'll tell you what. I used to think maybe Isa Ali's the greatest. Yeah, you know what? I say this. Ali is definitely one of the greatest. I mean, he had the best marketing campaign, just like Jordan. But you would never get a better. You would never see, to me, a better fighter than Sugar Ray Robinson or Willie Pep or one of my favorite, Jack Dempsey. Them dudes was monsters, man. Not saying Ali wasn't, but them dudes was monsters too.
Well, if you listen, years ago, Ali's daughter Layla came out and said Ali had fundamental flaws that wouldn't have worked in today's game. She said, now maybe my dad would have corrected him. But she's right. With the athletes we have now, there's no way he could have stood in front of these heavyweights with his hands down by his knees. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? There's no way he's going to be pulling back away from punches instead of slipping them in today's game. It just wasn't going to happen. But what I will say, he had one of the greatest hearts in the history of boxing.
Oh, yeah, probably one of the best ever.
His will is unmatched. You know what I mean? So, you know, he was athletic as hell. So, like I said, maybe he would have adjusted with the times. But just looking at him as is, he had a lot of fundamental flaws. And I'm one of those guys. I'm an older guy too, I guess at this point. But let's not forget about some of the younger guys. We always want to fantasize about guys from yesteryear. Pernell Whitaker was a boxing wizard. You know what I mean? Let's not. Roy Jones.
But Oscar kicked his head in, though. Oscar kicked his head in.
Kicked whose head in?
Pernell Whitaker's.
He was done.
As a pup.
He was done at that point. And he did.
Oh, no, was he done? He looked like the old Pernell.
I thought he beat Oscar, but he was done at that point. He had battled cocaine his whole career. That was towards the end of his career. Like, he was done at the Oscar. Think about this. Pernell came out of the 84 Olympics. Mm-hmm. The Olympics are every 4 years. Mm-hmm. Oscar came out the 92 Olympics. He's 2 Olympic classes behind him, and he still didn't fight him until his 4th or 5th year as a pro. Pernell, in boxing terms, was an old man when he fought Oscar De La Hoya. But like I said, Roy Jones was one of the best fighters I've ever seen at his peak.
Oh, yeah.
So nobody talks about, we all want to fantasize about yesteryear, but Jack Dempsey was no bigger than a Roy Jones. He wouldn't beat the heavyweights of today.
No.
There's no way in hell.
He would have been too small.
The white Muhammad Kawi would have beat Jack Dempsey, in my opinion.
I don't know, man. He had power on both hands.
So did the white Muhammad Kawi.
You gotta remember about the type of gloves, but they was wearing in the times that Jack Dempsey was fighting. You know what I'm saying?
And their style. And their style with this. Nobody standing in front of you, waving their hands down by their chest. Now, like, we gotta stop, bro. We gotta stop looking at this old film of these slow, unathletic guys. Like, they would have beat these juggernauts of the day. It's ridiculous.
I'll tell you one guy that I think is just a real monster now, and that's Tyson Fury. That dude,
he can box.
He looked like a tub of lard, man. But I can't see nobody on this planet beating him, man.
I wouldn't
Nah,
say
we
that.
only saying that. We only saying that because you seen him with the 3 fights with Wilder, but he fight big, slow, monster, mummy-looking guys. You know what I'm saying?
He beat the
You
hell out of
not,
Klitschko too.
yeah, right. But I'm a
Beat him
Klitschko,
to
but he was
death.
later. But he was later in his career, and you know what I'm saying. But he need a now. One look. Once he fight like a Usyk or like an Andy Ruiz, but you know what I'm saying, but somebody sure but come back and throwing combinations at him.
He'd have a
I don't
problem.
know.
I
He's
agree.
in yeah. He gonna be in trouble because he
A
fighting
young
these
Mike
big,
Tyson would have
a
got
young.
Tyson Fury out of there in 2 rounds.
Yeah, facts. I agree.
He would have went to that
100%.
body.
100%.
He would have went to his body, bent him over, and then went up. It would have been over. You're right.
Exactly.
You're right. Quick, explosive fighters would give him. Look, Wilder would be able to beat him if he was fundamentally sound, but he's not. And we heard from Mark Breland, he wasn't really training. And Wilder came out and admitted it. Well, some guys got to run. I don't have to run. Yeah, all right. When he put that 270 pounds on your ass, you with it, brother.
Hey, and that's the thing, man. Tyson Fury really did invented a whole new thing called like bully bomb boxing. Like he just lay on you and just beat the life out of you, man. He beat the
Nah,
sleeve.
he ain't the first. That's
I
that
never
UK
seen.
thing. That's called wrestle boxing. Ricky Hatton did it to the Costa Zoo. That's
Yeah,
what they
that
do
is
over
true.
there. If I can't be quicker, more athletic, and outbox you, then I'm going to Greco-Roman wrestle you while standing up and land an occasional punch until you're tired enough for me to be able to deal with you. And only their officials allow that shit to happen because that'll never fly here.
That was Kenny Bayless.
He bought and paid for it, man. He bought and paid for it.
Hey, he's the worst ref in boxing, bro. He's
At
the
this
worst
point.
ref in boxing, man. Because what I see him do versus Caleb Plant, man, and David Benavidez. But I'm gonna ask you a couple. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions about some fights. So tell me this, man. How good is David Benavidez, man? Because I think Morrell will kill him. Is that just
I think
me?
after I like Benavidez a lot prior to the Caleb Plant fight. After watching Plant and him, I think Canelo beats the hell out of David Benavidez, and I think David Morrell beats him. I think he's very overrated. I like the fact that he's a volume puncher. He has a lot of knockouts, so people think he's a big puncher. He's not. He just throws a lot of shots and overwhelms guys. And like you said, I think David Morrell was the class of the division. And I think Benavidez has a very tough time with Canelo at this point because I think his feet are slow. I don't think he has enough crack to make Canelo respect him. And I think Canelo just going to box circles around him.
And another fighter that I'm wondering, we talk about David Morrell. Why is a guy like David Morrell not? Why don't they give him the credit he deserves? Even though he only has 9 fights, they give Boots all this credit. Why in the world don't Morrell get the credit he deserves?
Star power just don't have that. He just doesn't have the star power.
But what about the talent?
He hasn't had a name on his resume to make people say, "Oh," like even if it's an older name. They need to put him in there with somebody that's taking Plant the distance or taking Benavidez the distance or giving them a tough fight, and he'll starch them, and then they'll say, "Oh." But until then, you haven't really. Who have you seen him with that was recognizable? He's doing his job. He's beating the hell out of everybody they put in front of him. But who is he? Who recognizable have you seen him fight? And I just think once you see him in there with somebody recognizable, people will wake up because I think he's special.
Yeah, I think he's special. You know who I don't think is special is Boots, man. And I want to know, man, what is all this
that's
hype
blasphemous. Don't say my guy. Don't say that.
How? This if he got in there with Virgil, man, Virgil will beat the life out of him, man.
Boots will beat the shit out of Virgil Ortiz.
Oh my God, you nuts! You nuts, man.
Listen. I've watched this guy with my own eyes, right? Beat the hell out of 6'8" heavyweights in the gym. His father had this big ass 6'8" Russian in the gym. And I had a heavyweight named Rodney Brooks. I took up to their gym to spar. And Bozy, if you know Bozy, he loves to bring his phone out and show you footage. He'll show you himself sparring. He brings up the footage of Boots sparring this big ass 6'8" Russian. And Boots is beating the hell out of this heavyweight. Like, he's a different animal. And the reason why I think he's a different animal, because he eats, sleeps, shits, boxing. If Boots fights on Saturday, Monday, he's in the gym. And if he's not training himself, he's holding pads for amateurs. Like, the dude is just a gym rat. And if you've ever...
What about his technique, man? That's what I'm saying. You okay, think about this. When he fought Karen, he couldn't cut the ring off. And think about this. You know how Errol Spencer scooped towards you? He was walking towards Karen. It's like, what's going on with his game that he don't know to scoop towards you? It's the little
Karen,
thing.
it's hard to knock out Ja. You can appreciate this, Ja. How hard is it to knock out a guy who's not trying to win? That guy didn't fight back. He was there to survive. In order to knock somebody out, they have to engage you.
No.
Engage him all night.
We seen Monster Inoue go in there and knock Paul Butler's ears off, and he wasn't there to fight at all.
But here's the thing.
He wasn't there to fight at all.
I can't agree with that too much. I can't agree too much of that. You know what I'm saying? If you're a puncher, if you're a fighter, you're gonna find a way to get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? But despite if he's there to win, saying there to survive, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna find a way. You're gonna cut the ring off, so you're gonna find the punch. So
I think he got caught up in trying to knock him out too much, and was actually getting hit as he was. He forgot about defense.
He's getting tagged.
Yeah, but to me, especially when you're talking about another world-class fighter, it's extremely hard to knock out a guy whose only goal is to not get knocked out. That's not easy to do. And
Would it come back at that? Hold on. Go ahead.
If you watch any of that guy's prior fights,
never fought like that.
He's actually a straight-ahead stalker.
Yeah, he never
fought. Who turned him into a ballroom dancer? He never fought anybody like that. If you watch any of his other fights, he's an aggressive, straight-ahead, rugged guy.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he got on his bike like that should tell you something about what Boots is throwing.
I feel you, man, and the reason I come at you with that is because this is what I'm thinking. If he fought somebody like Virgil Ortiz is going to slow the pace down. And I don't think Boots has ever been walked down. And Virgil's coming to walk you down. And Virgil's a bigger man.
He's going to take some heat.
And he's stronger. And he's strong. He's stronger too, man. Go ahead.
You can't judge Boots on that prior performance because that's just him beginning his experience. You know what I'm saying? But when he fight, saying Virgil, but I feel like we gonna stop him in the 7th, 8th round.
I'll put like this.
You're gonna see the difference. He's getting ready to fight Villa here in Atlantic City. You seen what Villa was able to do to Rashidi Ellis, right? Watch what Boots do to him next month.
And what happens when he does the same thing to Boots?
He's not gonna do that to Boots.
But no, I'm saying what happens if
it's not gonna happen.
I'm gonna ask you this. So when he stops Boots, if he stops Boots, then what we gonna put up on that?
BBO.
What we gonna put up on that?
When he gets stopped, this is all I want you to do for what you just said, right? Take your right hand, put it up in the air. Put your right hand up in the air. Come on, put your right hand up in the air and slap the shit out of yourself.
You a good fuck. You a good fuck. Hey, all I gotta tell you is this, man. When Vilma stopped that dude, I don't want you to hide. I know how you can get. You might try to hide. Hey, I'm gonna have to run down the monster, find him. You know how you gonna do? You gonna be
phone number. You know it ain't no hiding.
Hey, John, he gonna be hiding, man. I'm about to go on the monster, pull him out. He gonna be like, no, I'm in here praying right now. Don't bother me, man. I know how you gonna do. I know how you do, man. That boy gonna be in the monster hiding, man.
Nah, you know what? You ain't gonna have to find me, because I'm gonna find you. when Boots beat the matter of fact, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do?
What's that?
I'm gonna be at the fight since it's here in Atlantic City, and I'm gonna send you a request for a live from the arena, which your guy laid the hell out and actually come on.
Hey, I want to do that. I want to send you a BBO T-shirt, and I want you to say BBO is the king of boxing when Vilma beats him.
I definitely ain't doing that.
I want you to do that, man. See,
I'll wear the T-shirt. I ain't gonna call you the king of boxing.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you this. This is the same guy. This is the same guy, y'all, who thought Teofimo Lopez wouldn't beat Josh Taylor easy, like I told him.
What?
Same guy. It's the same guy.
I was wrong. I was wrong about that. I was wrong.
Don't forget that. While we throwing it out there. We all knew Tio was gonna win. We all knew Tio was gonna win.
You know why? You know why I said that? Because Tio's mental in the fight prior to that was horrible. And I didn't know he could come. I didn't know he can get his mind back together. I'm also the same guy that can show you my ticket that won a bunch of money over T.O. and Lomachenko. I picked you to beat Lomachenko. I never doubted T.O.'s ability or his athleticism. What I did doubt was his psyche. And when he had that subpar performance and is in the corner asking his father, "Do I still got it?" Yeah, I wasn't too sure he was going to show up.
Look, but me seeing Teofimo Lopez, I say this because you feel me, but I've been doing this since I was 12 or 13, but he showed what the realness of living that boxer's life. You know what I'm saying? But him fronting, but ain't no glitz and glamour, but he's showing how it really is. You know what I'm saying? And he got that old school same thing about him. He gonna keep fighting. He gonna keep fighting no matter what. You know what I'm saying? So
he said some of the dumbest stuff that turned me off too. Like when he said before the fight, I want to kill him. I'm not just saying it. I really want to catch him. Like, man, I don't want to hear that stupid shit, bro. Like, like I got a stablemate that actually died defending this world title. I don't think that kind of shit is funny. So,
right.
I think the reason why T.O. isn't as big a star as he should be is because he says a lot of the wrong things. They need to get that man a media coach because he can fight. He is athletic. And start marketing himself the correct way so he can see the kind of money he deserves to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. T.O., yeah. You know what I'm saying? For him saying we want to kill him, I just think that he was just trying to promote himself better and just but try to come off as this Mike Tyson type
that
of
was
thing.
the wrong way.
Because
It wasn't gonna work for him. Well, and it backfired, which is why he had to apologize after the fight. Like, there's no room for that. You know what I mean? But again, I think he's a great talent, but I think he's a head case, and that's why. And I didn't think Josh Taylor was going to look that bad. Josh Taylor, damn near looked shot in that fight.
And when T.O. came ready, but T.O. came ready. You know what I'm saying? But T.O. knew what time it was. He knew about how much like was on the line, and plus we had a chip in his shoulder, and he fighting in his hometown. You know, so he came ready. Same with Josh Taylor. I mean,
A good friend of mine used to work with T.O. Matter of fact, we had our first amateur fight together. A guy named Lee Gladden. He used to condition T.O. I don't know what happened. They don't work together no more, but they used to work together.
Oh no, that's what's up. But one time I seen T.O. like 190, son. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean? When fighters start making a couple dollars, they do crazy things between fights.
Yeah, I never knew we could have got that big. So he was looking like a monster. Phenomenal. But I feel like he'll walk through Devin Haney though.
Oh, hell yeah. I feel that way too. I think Devin's one of the most overrated fighters in the last 30 years.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I've seen but too much flaws in this fight with Lomachenko, you know what I'm saying, but Linares, you know, and it's like he's a good fighter, you know what I'm saying? He's up and coming. He got a lot
He's
to
a good
learn.
fighter, not a great one. And here's the problem with Devin. Devin is very good at defending two punches at a time. Anybody that can put a third punch there, which is how Linares clipped him, which is how Lomachenko got him all night, anything past two punches, Devin can't defend. And I mean, you talk about head case. That joker's in the corner telling his dad, he knows everything I'm doing. His dad's like, oh, he's one at a time. He's one at a time. He's like, no, he's doing it more than once. Like he was panicking in that fight. And his flaws I've spoke of a lot. He just been a benefit of some great matchmaking. He hit the lotto when he got to fight Cambosos for all 4 belts. Any of the top 10 guys would have beat him for them belts. I don't give a damn if they were fighting in Jupiter. He didn't deserve to be undisputed champ. So any of them guys would have beat him. He caught T.O. when he was unhealthy. And so I never believed any of that hype where he wanted to fight Tank. That's another thing. I did a video on that too. How come Devin Haney ain't said Tank's name not one time now that they both don't have an opponent? And nobody he was yelling the hell out of Tank's name when Tank had fights, when he was contractually obligated for 3 fights. Now that both of them are free, that joker won't say T, let alone Tank.
Hey, what my man say, facts, not to mention Devin too dang young to be throwing just a jab 1-2. That man need to throw some combos. You know what? I think with my man GD, I get what you're saying, GD, but Devin Haney's a hot job. I've been saying that for so long. I done had.
And
I'm gonna say,
then it's not like he doing but the wrong thing. He just don't got the power to fight the way he fighting. If he had power, then by all means, but he a bad bull. You know what I mean? But he don't have but the power, but to just throw the ones and twos. You know what I mean?
He don't
But
have power, and he's not quick either, Ja. Like, what is the thing that he's like really? What is the asset that he has that's like you like?
But
Damn,
he's accurate.
he has no
You
off
feel me?
factor.
But he accurate. But he
Everything's
just
basic.
accurate. No,
He
he just
reminds me of
accurate.
like a Danny Garcia without the power. There's nothing special about Devin.
I'll say this though. You know who I really think is special. I want to get your opinion. I don't know how much you watch the young guys, man. But this guy Richardson, man, I don't know what that dude. I don't know where they got that dude at. That brother is special, man. I'm just wondering, will him not having power affect him? But he looks like the goods, man. I could be wrong, but Richardson looks like the goods.
You can be successful without power. You just have to be exceptional. Pernell Whitaker, Willie Pep, Paul Spadafora, Virgil Hill, good friend of mine, wasn't a big puncher, but they could box their asses off. And they all had something special. Either they're super quick, they got great legs. You gotta be special at something. Now, if you're gonna be average and not have power, no, it's not gonna work for you.
What does Africa have that's special though, in your opinion?
What is who?
I think ain't that what they call Richard Henderson jaw? Am I wrong?
Yeah. But we call him Africa.
Oh, okay. I think he's just a very good boxer. He's just a very decent speed. I think he's a dog. He has a big heart, and he's well schooled. He's fundamentally sound. Now, to me, again, Devin is fundamentally sound, but he's slow. And I think Hitchison has some power. I don't think Devin has any power. Devin hurt Gamboa. He was hitting Gamboa flush, and Gamboa
Yeah, bro. Son. I was watching now. I'm like, how is Kambosos standing, man? Devin,
because he was hitting him with pillows. That was a pillow
He need
fight.
to put some rock pebbles in his gloves before the fight.
What do you say? Devin does more in sparring than he does in the actual fight. I think that's because sparring, like in sparring, I feel like Floyd was more aggressive in sparring. I mean, that's not a real way to equate a fight, I don't think.
Because there's no pressure in sparring. You got bigger gloves and headgear. There's no crowd. You ain't worried about looking bad. You can just go out and do things. But when he came out and said that he had to send Hector Garcia home because he was beating the hell out of him in sparring, and then that footage leaked, and that was some basic ass sparring, I don't see where he's doing so much in sparring. Because I got the video of him and Hector Garcia on my page. He didn't do shit to Garcia in sparring. I mean, usually when you send somebody home, you knock them down 3-4 times. They getting stopped. They can't finish the session. None of that happened. So I don't know what the hell he does that's so epic in sparring. The sparring I seen between him and Shakur, he was eating straight left hands all night. So I don't know what sparring they talking about where he does all this great sparring.
And it's funny, you said about the left hands, that's what Loma kept landing. If he fought Tank, he's going to sleep.
He can't get his head off the line.
Hey, and I'll be honest with you, and this is just me. I don't think Tank's that great. I know I might get hate for that, but nothing that I've seen. When I say he's not that great, I just haven't seen him in there with nobody to really try him. Now, if you get in there and do that same stuff,
Tank always increased his competition. You know what I'm saying?
He has good speed, and he can get you out of there with either hand, with one punch. If that ain't great, I don't know what is.
Well, let me ask you this. Can he do that to Shakur? Say it again.
Will he do it to Shakur? I don't know. Can he do it to Shakur? Absolutely. He can do it to anybody with that kind of power. Anybody you hit, you can put out. Now, I'm a Jersey guy, so I'm going to rock with Shakur. But I'm also a realist. And I always say, and I'll say this in front of whoever, the kind of power Tank got, you have to see what's going to happen when he hits Shakur, just like everybody else. You don't know what's going to happen when he hits you until he hits you.
Will he stand in front of him like that? Will he stand in front of him like he do everybody?
Shakur definitely ain't nobody's standing in front of him. That guy got bricks in his hands. Why would you stand in front of him? You got
what I'm saying is that's what That's what Shakur seems to do is stand in front of him. You can't hit him. I'm just wondering, is he going
against the guys he's fighting?
Okay.
Would anybody stand in front of Mike Tyson?
No.
No. No. Fuck that. You get you out of there with one. You're not standing in front of him for what?
He stood in front of what's the dude at 130 Oscar like Valdez. Like Valdez wasn't nothing. And you see Valdez, it's a different level.
There's different levels, bro. It's not even close.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take you.
Tank is special, man, and like he's just special. He's special.
Tank,
He's a guy.
he got very good punch placement, especially.
Absolutely.
And look, he don't rely on his power, but that's what makes him so dangerous. You know what I'm saying? But he throw punches and he just places it very good, like in each and every one of his knockouts. He places his it's beautiful. Saying like yo, it's beautiful to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Especially a guy that can say, you know what? I don't care if I'm giving away rounds. I'm gonna let you look decent because I know eventually I'm gonna move you into a trap and land one punch, and you're gonna go take a shower.
That's tough. I'm gonna use that. I'm using that.
You gonna go take a shower? That boy Crown, one of the funniest dudes on YouTube. That brother shit.
I'm using that Crown.
I appreciate that.
Hey, what's
subscribe to my channel too? I need it. You know what I mean? I ain't mind.
Hey, we gonna get you there, man. We gonna get you there, man. But we gonna get out of here, man. I got a little early. I gotta get my daughter, but hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, Crown. I plan on doing more of this, man. You know, my man Ja, aka Mookie. This is home, so
I appreciate y'all. And Ja, give me your name so I can follow you, bro. I like the way you talk. I want to follow your career.
Thank you. I'm gonna send you my IG in the chat.
Definitely.
Yeah, hey, but say your famous line so we can get out of here, Crown.
All right, until next time, keep your hands up, your chin down, your ass off the floor. Peace.
Oh, we gone. Peace.
All right, y'all.
All right.